Good morning, everyone. I'm Adam Poling, the General Manager for Dining Services. We'll give it another minute or so. I think we have a few still in the waiting room coming on board, and then we'll get started. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Adam Poling, the General Manager for Dining Services at Jacksonville University. I thank everyone for joining us this morning. Certainly appreciate you taking the time and allowing us to walk through some of the things that we've done for this coming fall and spring semester at JU as it relates to dining services and the safety implications for our campus community. We can go ahead and get started. Some of the things that we've done for our reopening, obviously our operations focus on safety, solutions, and support across all dining locations. If you have any questions as I move forward throughout the slides, feel free to put them in the group chat and I'll work on answering those as we move through. There's certainly time at the end to answer some additional questions. We certainly will. But we'll go ahead and move forward with our first priority, safety. We've undertaken a number of things to ensure the student safety, campus community safety as it relates to dining throughout all our locations on campus. Our cleaning and sanitation, our chemicals that we use, our COVID plan, our hand hygiene, and our product safety. All things that we've done. Cleaning and sanitation, high touch cleaning, hand hygiene as it relates to guests and employees specifically, ongoing hand hygiene training, an increased schedule of mandatory hand washing at the minimum of every 20 minutes, in addition to the use of additional PPE with gloves, our chemicals that we use, chemicals and equipment, personal product equipment there, product safety with our vendors and suppliers, ensuring that they're using the same safety protocols and vetting process for their employees before they come to our campus, our food safety standards, our training of those employees around those standards, and our planning and action. We've worked hand in hand with Residential Life to formulate this safety plan moving forward, but then contingency plans around all the what ifs with COVID-19. In these uncertain times, certainly Airmark understands that our operations need this flexibility. So we've done things like expanded service solutions and service adjustments. Things in the dining hall will look different for those returning students, and they may seem a little bit different than what students would expect from a normal dining hall. We've moved our cashier stations to include plexiglass, a self-swipe solution, so where there is no contact between the cashier and those swiping in. We've continued to work with some additional solutions around technology. As soon as those are available, we will implement those. But also a queue line into the dining hall, into locations, along with our signage to ensure proper social distancing and a contactless interaction with as many of our staff as possible. Our meal plans, obviously we've moved into a virtual selling format. We have all of our brochures available electronic. moving those on the campus dish. Our retail convenience, we've added a grab and go station to the dining hall. So those that don't want to go into the dining hall and move through all the stations will have the opportunity to grab an item via their swipe. And then technology. Again, we talked about the contactless self-swipe system at the dining hall, but certainly we're working with IT and other members of our community to add mobile ordering, to add cashless systems, and to continue those contactless self-swipes that we see in the dining hall to all our locations. Social distancing will remain a common practice with our floor decals, the stanchions that have been added, the signage from an informational piece that'll be added. But in and of that, we've also added options for those with meal plans and all access plans. Those swipes will be available 5 per week at the pub, which is unique this year, as well as waves for lunch and dinner. Waves typically was only open for dinner and not accepting swipes. This year it's lunch and dinner, and we'll accept those 5 swipes per week. Our service now, we will continue to be a full service dining hall as well as our other locations. We'll have all the options that the students are used to and accustomed to, but there will be a staff member there with the face coverings, with gloves, with plexiglass shields and sneeze guards to serve all those items to our students. Is it 5 swipes for all 3 or for each? It is 5 swipes per access plan per week. So in addition to your all access swipes at the dining hall, each student has 5 additional swipes to use at any of those additional locations at their time of choosing. So 5 per week per plan, not per location. In an effort to distribute the volume that we would normally see at lunch in the dining hall, we've added those swipes so that we can disperse them amongst those other locations. Will employees' temperatures be taken daily? They already are. So we have a process in place right now to where upon entering the back of the dining hall where the time clock is, the first thing we do is take an employee's temperature, and then they're asked the health screening questions at the time clock. In order to clock in, they have to go through the temperature check and answer the health questions to make sure that they're properly screened before they clock in and begin their shift. So we have that in place now, and we will continue that throughout the year. Our support, communication, and alignment are critical to JU Dining success. We'll continue that communication and commitment and collaboration with residential life. As we see things evolve and move throughout the semester, we'll update our action plan and our pandemic response plan in coordinates with residential life's overarching plan for all of campus community safety. Our collaboration, we certainly work with our client partners and our vendor partners. We'll talk about our strength in the supply chain capacity later on. Certainly our consumers, but also our employees. Safety, campus safety, when I talk about campus safety, campus community safety, it's for all of those that are collectively on campus, faculty, staff, the employees that we have, and certainly the students. Cross-departmental commitment. I sit on a number of different committees within the university to make sure that we are collaborating and staying in touch with everyone's guidance throughout this process moving forward. Our global supply chain and procurement overview. One challenge that that we've seen nationally, not from Aramark or JU standpoint, but I think families and others have felt some of those supply chain issues at the grocery store as it relates to certain personal items, as it relates to food or menu items, ground beef, certain things. We haven't had that issue with supply chain. We've got some strategic supplies throughout the country. We've tapped into those over the summer to make sure that we stay on top of that. We've had great success with continuing our ability to supply everything that we need safely and consistently to the campus community. Some general pandemic insights. I don't believe there's anything shocking here. Certainly 85% of parents need more information on what colleges and universities are doing to keep the students safe throughout the year, and that's one of the things that we'll continue to do. We'll continue to share the information. We'll continue to do everything that we can from sharing that information, demonstrating that information, and making students aware of all the options that they have now on campus from a safety aspect, but from a convenience aspect as well. And adding the food trucks to campus, and adding the additional lunch options, and adding the additional dinner options, the coffee cart in the mid-morning to speed up service through our Starbucks location. Those types of things we'll continue to post on social media. We'll post physically in our location, our digital menu boards, and we'll continue to update everyone as much as possible so that students are understanding that level of safety and convenience is for them. And we'll continue to stay in touch with the student community through roundtables and through the food committee with SGA to make sure that we understand their needs and we stay adapted and flexible to what they are. And we'll continue to focus on the students as we reopen. Again, some of that social media, we'll see on the next slide, is focused on making sure that they have all the information that they have, that they need, excuse me. Making sure that they understand the options that are available, making sure that we remind them about social distancing, that we remind them about the things that they need to do to stay safe, and that we're here for them. Again, Campus Dish, our website, some of the basic things that I would have normally talked about are our Campus Dish website. You can log in there, you can see the menu for the day. It'll help you decide if you have time to walk through the dining hall or if you need to grab and go. It also allows you to select the menu items that you're having. It talks about the nutritional side of things, as well as our flipbook meal plan, if you have any questions that it relates to the meal plan. At the end, you'll also get my office number and my direct email. So if there's any questions during this time between now and then, or even when school begins, feel free to email me or reach out, especially as it relates to special dietary needs. We'll have we've actually hired 2 additional sous chefs. So we have 4 sous chefs total, along with our executive chef, all been ServSafe certified to handle any of those dietary or your students may have when you're on campus. We'll continue to engage our teams. We've continued to reach out and stay in touch with our employees throughout the summer to make sure that they're staying safe, they're doing well, and that we're proactively planning for everything that we need when we come back. We've talked about those virtual sessions that we've had. We've done that also with hiring and with engaging new employees. Before anyone comes back, they'll be fully trained. We've extended our onboarding and training to a 7-day period to make sure that we have smaller sessions. We can accommodate everyone. And before we start every semester, we do a food safe training, and then we do an additional allergen training, and we've added a special COVID-19 safety training around this year as well. And we'll keep that moving. Before anyone comes on board, before anyone works their first shift, they have to go through all those trainings when they get onboarded. Again, our program priorities, we're going to focus on the students. We're going to focus on that safety. We're going to drive that program participation with that type of thing. We'll engage our teams, keep them motivated through our Welcome Back program. We want to keep them safe, and we want to keep them safe so that they can keep our students and our campus community safe. We'll be doing that with maintaining those safe environments. We've talked about how we've adapted the operations. And we'll continue to collaborate with our clients, with our other universities, with other partners, and certainly with the students themselves. My contact information is available, both office and phone number. My office number and my email. If there's any questions, I can certainly take those if you want to pop those up in the chat. For the grab and goes, will students have to order online beforehand? They will not. They will not have to order online beforehand. When they come into the dining hall, the cashier stations have moved to the right-hand side. They would swipe in and then they would go to the left, and there is a grab and go coolers options there to pick up, and they can take those from there and move on. We are working on a pre-order system through a mobile app. That's not available yet. As soon as that is, we'll have that available. Grab and go vegetarian options. Yes, grab and go vegetarian options will be available, along with gluten-free and other specific dietary needs. Those will be available as well. So will students be able to eat in the dining hall but socially distance? Yes, so we have added additional seating outside of the dining hall. There's also the banquet room that's next to the dining hall that'll be added as seating, and additional seating outside of the dining hall is being added as well. So with properly socially distancing the seats in the dining hall, but adding additional seating in other locations in that building and around that building, we've actually been able to increase seating with properly social distancing people. Will students be able to, yes. Food trucks take flex dollars? Yes. The food trucks this year will continue to take flex dollars. They'll be able to use that for the food trucks throughout the year. We bought special flex card readers to allow students to do that. What does a grab and go option consist of? So the grab and go options will consist of entrees for that day, whatever the menu entree is, grab and go options of sandwich, salads, wraps, and then some bagged chips, granola bars, bottled water, a variety of items like that. Chef is working through from a grab and go standpoint. Where do you go online to find the menu for the day? We can send that information out. It is at campusdish.com. I can get that email. I can get that direct link to new student orientation, and they can share that. The answer on the extra 5 swipes, is it 5 total per week? Yes, the all access plans have 5 additional swipes per week. They do not roll over, but they have an additional 5 swipes per week that they can use at lunch or dinner, anytime really, during that week, that they'll be able to go to the River House Pub or Waves. How do I sign up for a dining hall card meal plan? So dining hall, so the meal plans, I believe New Student Orientation can assist you with where we sign up for those meal plans. The university handles the actual purchasing and implementation of that meal plan, and then then we administer that. What is the policy regarding 5 swipes? So all access meal plan holders, new students coming into campus, will receive an additional 5 swipes per week on top of their all access plan. So every week, the card will be reloaded with those 5 swipes. They can use at lunch or dinner in the River House or Waves. How early do we open? The dining hall opens at 7 a.m. and runs until 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and is open for brunch on the weekends through 8:30. What date will food service begin? Right now we have limited options available in the dining hall for those that are living on campus currently. Meal plans and full service operations begin August 9th and 10th. Sunday, August 9th, we open the dining hall up till it's full capacity, full hours, all options. The 10th is Monday, and that's when Chick-fil-A and some of the others would open. I understand the 5 additional swipes, but what was it normally? Normally, the all access plan was meal swipes only available at the dining hall. So the Waves, previously Waves was not open for lunch. It was only for late night, and it was flex cash credit. The same with the pub. It was only open for flex cash and credit. This year, in an effort to expand the options and at no additional cost, we added those 5 additional swipes per all access plan per student for the week, so that we can aid individuals with their own schedule on how to best socially distance from one another. Are there any other questions?
We'll give it just a few minutes more for questions, but first off, I want to say thank you, Adam, for this detailed presentation about the commitment to our safety and the health of our students and staff. So appreciate you coming on to talk about all of the plans you have in place. For information about meal plans, you can visit the website link in the chat. We'll also make sure that this goes up with the upload. As well as the campus dish link is also in the chat, so you can check out what some of the meal options are, as well as check a daily menu when you get back here on campus. So if there's no more questions, thank you so much, Adam. I really appreciate you joining us today to talk through what our dining options are. I'm going to share the screen one more time so that you are able to see Adam's contact information should you have any further questions.
Thank you, everyone. I certainly appreciate the time, and if questions come up later on, feel free to use that email or call the office.
Thank you, everyone.